Hey, what's up? I'm Seth, and today I'm asking the question, should I watch with my kids the new movie, Free Guy?
This is Free City.
Okay, so, the movie Free Guy. It's, just from the premise, watching the trailers, it looked like it was a fun movie. I love Ryan Reynolds, just his charisma, his style. It's just relaxed and it's fun. And he plays this character in the movie that is a non-playable character in a video game, just a background guy, who becomes self-aware and tries to be a hero, but he doesn't really realize where he is and what's happening. And so that's kind of the premise. It's just this non-playable character in a video game. And so just getting into it, I'm like, is this going to be like Super Smash Brothers, a video game movie that's maybe a little violent, but it could be for kids, even though it's PG-13, it kind of crosses those boundaries? Or is it more for the teens to adults? Is it more like a Grand Theft Auto, which is a pretty violent video game? There's a lot of adult themes. And honestly, it fit kind of in the middle, but I do feel like answering that question, would I share this with my kids? Probably not yet. I feel like overall the humor and the style and just the overall premise fit more for the 13 age range, maybe 14 and up. Like, it just wasn't written for kids. It doesn't really cross those boundaries of kids might enjoy this as well. There's some parts they might like, but I really did feel like it was for those older teens and adults. So let me tell you overall what I like, what I think my kids would have fun watching, and what I didn't like, what I think my kids would maybe not like as much. Oh yeah, just real quick, I'm going to try and stay away from spoilers. So I'll probably spoil as much as that's given away in the trailer, maybe a little bit more just because talking about what I like and dislike, but I'm going to try and be really light to no spoilers because you might not have seen it yet. So first of all, what I liked. Overall, it is a fun and positive movie. The character of Guy that Ryan Reynolds plays is just an optimist. He's just happy about everything. And it's a lot of fun to watch him. He's kind of aloof, he's kind of childlike, but he's loyal, he's honest, he's just a helpful guy, and he tries to do what's right. He's trying to be a hero and be helpful as much as possible. And he's just learning about his life. He's also a hopeless romantic, which is just, it's kind of fun. So that overall optimistic feel. And again, it's a fun movie. It's the funny thing about this movie is it's not just kind of this video game crazy premise where it's this guy in a video game. It also has some very touching parts where, the characters have these relationships that they're building. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but the relationships is really a big part of this movie, and it's fun to watch. So overall, a fun, positive, and sometimes touching movie. Surprisingly touching, actually. I didn't really expect that, and so that was pretty cool. The other thing I liked about it was the characters. I mean, Ryan Reynolds' character, he's the lead, and he is just charismatic and fun and does a great job. There's some other characters in it, though, as well. His best friend, they name him Buddy in the movie. It's just tons of fun as well, and their relationship is really cool. The character Millie, it's the actress from Killing Eve. She does a great job as well, and her connection with Ryan Reynolds' character does a good job. But then there's also the guy from Stranger Things. He plays one of the developers of the game, and he does a great job as well. Taika Waititi, the director from Thor Ragnarok, plays the villain. He's campy, he's over the top, but it works for this movie. So just overall, I feel like the characters fit the premise of this movie, and I liked how they interacted and what they did. Again, even though it was a little over the top, a little campy, it felt fun. And the last thing I really liked about this movie is that there's this overall theme about finding happiness where you are. Not looking to these outside things, but finding it within yourself and enjoying the moments of life, not always looking to the future or looking to money or fame or anything like that. That's just kind of an overall theme. And again, just it's part of that positivity and that fun aspect of this movie. So those are the things I would like for my kids to see out of this movie. Again, some good themes there. So what didn't I like for my kids, and why maybe would I wait to show it to them? Well, first of all, it is violent. It's not bloody violent, but it's a lot of gun violence, it's a lot of explosion violence, and it's violence that has zero consequences because it's inside a video game. So if you think your kids can make that detachment of, oh, this is fantasy, this is just a game, that violence is not real, it's not a big deal, then maybe they'd be okay with it. I, for one, my kids are 5, 7, 10, and 12, and so they're at kind of those formative ages as far as, the media that they watch and what they do. And so I think I would wait for them until they really understand that separation. The second thing is there is bad language, and it's played for laughs, and that's kind of a Ryan Reynolds thing, right? He likes certain curse words, and they come out of nowhere. It was a little jarring, and just something that I know my kids would be like, whoa, did he really just say that? For me, it's something that I know my kids would look at me and be like, hey, you're letting me watch a movie with curse words. Which, didn't bother me back in the day, but now that I have kids, and they call me out on it. So that's just something you should be aware of. And the last thing I didn't like, I kind of already alluded to, is it just feels like it's a movie that's not made for kids as well. I mean, I've talked about the Marvel movies and I've done some of those reviews. And some of those movies feel like, some kids could enjoy it. Ant-Man, Spider-Man. Those are movies that are PG-13, but, kids could still really enjoy that type of movie. For this movie, overall, I just feel like it's written for teens, 13, 14, and up. Getting into those video games and over. That's just what the style of humor is, the style of the show itself. Just things that either you're a video gamer or you're just an older teen and adult just understanding, interpersonal relationships. It's just written for that older audience. It's not really written for the kids. Okay, so overall, again, would I show this to my kids? Probably not yet. This is something I would wait on. Did I enjoy it as an adult? I did, actually. It was a fun movie. It was a positive movie. It's one that I would just take my wife to, and I think we just have fun watching it. I just don't think it's one that I would enjoy watching with my kids, just because of those things I already mentioned. All right, but once I do show my kids, or if you're going to show your kids this movie, there are some good questions that you can ask. And in fact, I would start with a would you rather. Would you rather have love and close relationships, or would you rather have money? That's actually a real question that comes up in this movie. So, what would you rather have? And it might be a good gauge to ask your kids what would they really like. And then I would ask the question, what would you do if there was no consequences? There's this video game world that's just open to do whatever you want. I would ask my kids, what would you do in that type of situation? What if you lived in that world? What would be something you'd want to do? Just to kind of open up that conversation, get them thinking about, choices and consequences, or choices and zero consequences. What would come up with that? And then finally, I'd ask, just for my own personal knowledge, is what was your favorite relationship in this movie? There's some good ones, and I enjoyed watching those relationships grow. That was, again, one of the highlights of this movie, was the relationships and just the emotional connections there. All right, that's it. That's my parents' review of Free Guy, just if I would show it to my kids or not. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button below, and if you want to see more reviews like this, then hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.